A very good morning to all of you, my dear students. Today we are here with this experiment table. Let me introduce you. We are using it for class 6 quite a good days now. His name is experiment table because it's a table and it can do some experiments. Okay. So today, by the subtitle, you must have been feeling very interesting that how can we travel in time. I will tell you everything. First of all, let's understand this. Time is not a fixed quantity, just like other physical quantities. Time is always relative. Okay. Have you ever, are you already aware that time in India is different from time in America or in any other country? Okay. We have a Greenwich Mean Time. So, whenever we travel from one place to another, time changes, isn't it? From one country to another, time changes. In a country, it is taken same just for the sake of simplicity, but the actual thing is that whenever we travel some distance, time changes for us. Okay, this is the general understanding of time. But the thing is that time is never alone. Time is always connected or a part of space, or we can say space time. The actual quantity is space time. Time is never alone. Okay, so time is relative and it is always interwoven with space. Let's say if I'll tell you that meet me tomorrow at 6 p.m. What will be your question? Sir, where? Okay, that means you can't meet me at 6 p.m. unless you know where you have to meet, okay, where you have to come. Okay, let's say if I'll tell you meet me tomorrow at our school, in front of our school, then you will say when. Then I will say after recess, let's say. Okay, or at 11 a.m. or 12 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m., anytime, let's say. So what I am trying to say is that time and space are connected with each other. You can't meet me anywhere without knowing the time, and you can't meet me anytime without knowing the place. Okay, so this is connected, space and time. Okay, so far so good. Okay, now let's understand this. Let's say a bus is traveling in front of me. This is a bus. Let's say it's traveling in front of me. I am standing here. Two passengers are sitting in this bus. Okay. First one is Albert Einstein and second one is you. Okay. So you both are sitting in this bus talking about physics. Okay. And I am standing right here. So what I am seeing? I am seeing that a bus is going at, let's say, 60 kilometers per hour in front of me, and there are two persons sitting in that bus. They both are moving with the same speed, 60 kilometers per hour. What you will see, let's say this is you and this is Sir Einstein. What you will see, that everything is stationary inside the bus. You both are sitting together talking about physics, and the bus is moving on a straight line going along. Okay. What you will see when you will see towards me, you will see that a person is moving at 60 kilometers per hour, because for you the bus is still and you are sitting still. So have you ever noticed this? Whenever we look out of a window of a moving bus or train, we see things passing by. Are they actually moving? No, they are not moving. How can you differentiate? How can you tell exactly that which one is moving? The train is moving or that ground is moving? You will say, sir, come on. We already know train moves, ground don't move. Yeah, that's right. But in terms of physics, how will you differentiate? You are seeing, I am seeing. If I am sitting in this bus, I am seeing that this is moving with respect to me. And this is true. Distance, time, distance is the motion is always relative. Okay, if let's say there is empty space, okay, there is empty space and you are moving, there is nothing in the space, how will you really realize that you are moving? You will never realize that you are moving at what speed, or you are even moving or not. Because when we are sitting, let's say in a bus, and it's a Volvo bus with a very good suspensions and all, okay, let's say it's a night bus with sleeper coaches, and we are sleeping in that. At that time, are we really able to comprehend that what is the speed at which we are traveling, or even if we are traveling or not? No, we are not. If the shockers are good enough, they will, and the windows are closed with some curtains and all, we will not be able to know whether we are moving or not. Okay, so this is it, my dear students, that distance distance traveled is always relative with something. Let's say we have two cities here. Okay, this is Patna and this is Ranchi. Okay, these two cities are let's say almost 350 kilometers apart. Okay, and we started traveling from Patna and went to Ranchi. Okay, then we said that this distance was 350 kilometers per hour. Our speed was, let's say, 60 kilometers per hour. Then this much time we took to travel from here to here. Okay, if we don't know the distance, we don't know the speed, we will not be able to know the time. This is very obvious. Okay, so distance traveled is always relative. This much you understood? Okay. Now let's move one step further and do a very interesting experiment. This thought experiment made the Einstein. Okay. What was it? Let's try this. I will try to explain it as simply as I can. Okay. Let's say we have a clock. This is a clock. A very special clock made up of light, a light clock. How does it work? It is very simple. It has two plane mirrors placed parallel to each other. Okay, and a light beam is being left in between them and the source is removed, so that the beam is bouncing up to and fro, to up and down, up and down, up and down continuously, and this is kept in a container, transparent container, so that we can see what's going on there. Okay, this is simple. This can be done. A light ray can be perfectly balanced between two plane mirrors, and it will keep on bouncing like this. Okay, this is a light clock. Okay, now let's say we have this light clock, and this is me, this is my friend. Okay, okay, and we both have seen this light clock for the first time, and we are seeing that, oh my god, how beautiful it is, how nice it is. Okay, and this was designed in such a way that the size of this clock was adjusted such a way that light was taking only 1 second to go once up and come back. No, to go once up. Okay, 1 second to go up and 1 second to come down. Okay, this was designed in such a way. Okay, then what are the two things left here? The speed of light and the distance. The distance is designed such a way that it takes 1 second to go back and come down. Okay, so speed is equals to distance traveled by time taken. Okay, okay, so what is the speed? Speed is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second is equals to distance traveled by time. If time is 1 second, that means this distance is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters, isn't it? That's why it's taking 1 second. So far so good. We know that speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Okay, and this is taking 1 second. We have designed it such a way. That means what is the distance between these two plane mirrors? 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters. So far so good. Okay, now let's say my friend decided to take this clock and go to see his uncle. Okay, he was a physicist, who is a physicist, and he wants to share this clock with him. Okay, and I am still standing here. My friend took this clock and sat in her car. Okay, and then she started traveling at some distance, at some speed. Okay, so what I saw, for my friend, the light ray is still going like this, traveling the same way it was traveling when we were together here. Okay, now what I am seeing from here is that she is taking that light clock and the light beam is traveling like this. Okay, let me show this a little bit higher if I could. Okay, let's say this is the clock here. Okay, and what is happening? The light beam is traveling like this. If you remove it, you will see like this in a zigzag manner, isn't it? For me, if we look from here, it is traveling like this, isn't it? Okay, now tell me one thing. If two objects are traveling, one is going straight line and one is traveling like this, who will cover more distance? That one who is traveling in a zigzag line will cover more distance. So for me, now when she is traveling, this light ray which was present in the clock is now it's traveling more distance for me. It is, although it is traveling the same distance for her, okay, because she is sitting still in that car with that clock, and the time is and the distance is same, which is traveling, which the light was traveling here is same still here for her, but for me it changed. Now the distance traveled is changed for me. And the speed of light, my dear students, does it changes? No, it never changes. It is the speed which speed limit of the universe. How? We will see right now. But first understand this, that if the speed of light is same but the distance changed, how will this equation speed is equals to distance traveled by time taken be uh, equal? How the speed will be equal to distance traveled by time taken when the distance changed and the speed is fixed? What will reduce? Distance increased and speed is fixed, 3 to 10 to the power 8 meters per second. How it is fixed? It is fixed because of an experiment which was done. Let's say the speed of light, we already know that speed of light is 3 to 10 to the power 8 meters per second. Okay, let's say we have a vehicle here and its speed is quite good. Let's say this is an aircraft, okay, and we tied a torch at its head, okay, and we flew it at some 100 kilometers per hour, okay, and we passed through a lighthouse where an instrument was kept to measure the speed of light which was coming in from the front head of this aircraft, okay. Then the speed of light must increase now, because when it was standing and the light was thrown, it was 3 to the power 8 meter. Now it's moving fast. So just like a bowler runs and throws balls, the speed of ball increases. Similarly, when it is moving at certain speed, then that speed should add up with the speed of light, but it doesn't happen. No matter how fast we traveled with a torch and measured the light, the speed of light was always 3 to 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Okay, because it is not only the speed of light, it is the speed limit of the universe. Nothing can go faster than this limit. Okay, okay, we will talk about it again in a while, but first understand this which we were talking. So the speed of light is same and the distance traveled changed, increased. Then for me, if the distance increased, then the time must reduce. So for me, that that friend of mine is now traveling in time. Okay. So nothing can travel in space without traveling in time, and nothing can travel in time without traveling in space. Okay. So space time is connected. Whenever we travel, we travel in time and in space simultaneously with respect to everything which is stationary around us. Isn't it interesting? that that thing blew my mind when I first understood it. I'm very sure you all must be really baffled, but it's physics and it's really interesting. Okay, so this the next time when you travel in a bus or a car or with anyone else, you can explain them how they are traveling in time. Okay, this is how it is done. Okay, one more interesting thing about time I will tell you, that what we were discussing right now, that time is fixed. Sorry, the speed of light is fixed. Okay, so the speed of light is fixed. Why is it said? It is given by the Einstein's. This theory was which we talked about, the distance traveled and time taken. This was known as theory of special relativity. Okay, and there is a theory of general relativity given by Einstein, which made him the Einstein. And that theory says E is equals to mc square. That means E is energy. Okay. Okay, let me tell you first one thing. When two hydrogen atoms were combined to form a H2 gas, let's say this hydrogen atom has mass m1. This hydrogen atom has a mass m1, same mass because both are hydrogen. Then after combining and making a H2 molecule, their mass should be m2, but this mass becomes little bit less than what is of mass of m2. It is little bit less than m2. Why? Some energy is released, and that energy comes from mass. Okay, so after knowing this, many experiments happened, and then the theory of general relativity came, which is E is equals to mc square. That means E stands for energy, m stands for mass, and c is the speed of light. which is 3 to 10 to the power 8 meters per second, and square of the speed of light. So this is fixed. Okay, E is equals to mc square. Whenever some energy is released, there is some uh, mass decreases. Okay, so whenever we increase the I don't want to discuss these things because you all are not that much senior. We all are studying in standard 6, so I really don't want to go deep into it. But what I will tell you that whenever we reach the speed of light, okay, whenever we not directly reach the speed of light, whenever we increase the speed of light, our speed, okay, whenever we travel in space time, whenever we travel, what happens is that time decreases for us. When we are traveling, the faster we go, the slower the time will be for us with respect to the outer surrounding. Okay, with this experiment, so what happens is when time is we are having some energy, and that thing increases our mass somehow with this experiment, with this equation E is equal to mc square. And when we reaches the speed of light, our mass becomes infinitely heavy, and that's why we can't really pass through increase our speed after reaching the speed of light, which is c. If I am telling you this just to make you curious enough, what else are the things? There are many things in physics which are really interesting, and this much we don't need to dig up, but this was really interesting that whenever we travel, this much is enough for you to understand that space and time are interconnected, interwoven with each other. They are not separate identity, and whenever we travel in space, we also travel in time. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. You did or not, please let me know in the comment section. And if you want to discuss something else or you have any doubt which you need me to clarify, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much.